There it is.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is the Committee on Administration for the County of Dunn. Today, Thursday, March 24th. This is our meeting. We're meeting here at the County Building, Room 54. Call of the roll. It shows that we have all our members present or by Zoom. And
Supervisor Story isn't present yet.
Except for, we have one missing yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sheila is not on yet. I'm sorry. Retract that back. All but Sheila's Story are either signed in or here at the meeting. Approval of the minutes, February 24th of 22 is our last meeting of this committee. Do I have a motion?
Also move.
Second. Moved in second by Dave and Tim. Any corrections? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Fine, passes. Any public comment? Do we have any public comment that just came in?
Not that I'm aware of. There was no mechanism for electronic submission because the meeting is is being held in person. So,
Okay.
and there's nobody here from the public.
Thank you. Staff reports. Again, our staff reports along with their budget information has all been supplied to you via the internet and emails from those people on the county website. Anyone who is here from our staff care to make any comments about their reports? Go ahead.
Sarah Benedict with the CJCC. I'm pleased to report an update. We did receive a grant of $150,000 for treatment in jail. So that's both evidence-based treatment, cognitive-based treatment, and then medically assisted treatment. So the grant is about 18 months long and $150,000. So.
Thank you very much. Jim Tripp.
Yeah. Do I need to put the microphone on when I talk? Or do you?
Yes.
Or do I have to press one here? Okay. Sarah, does that mean, are we going to add any staff because of that grant, or is that going to be handled by people we already have on staff?
So the initial plan is no additional staff. It's to do some contracts with providers in the community to have them come in and provide those services in the jail. And then there will be some impact on staff, but we thought existing staff could absorb the coordination of some of those services. So no
Okay.
additional county staff.
So it's mostly administering the work of, and you mentioned treatment. I assume some of it will be medical in nature.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jim and Sarah. Anyone else? All right. Thank you very much for that update. Any of the board have any questions about any of the reports that we need to pass on? Supervisor Tripp.
I don't have a question, but I was just going to comment on the clerk of county clerk's report. 101 individual different ballots. I'm going to be out of town for the election, so voted early. And Mr. Mercel, I want to congratulate you for a baby clerk. You did a really nice job.
Thank you. I think I really appreciate that. Yes, it's been quite a big effort. I guess I will just make one comment since Supervisor Tripp brought this up. We did just hire a new deputy county clerk. Her name is Jackie McFagan, and she will be starting next week on Tuesday. So she'll have exactly 5 working days before the election. That should be plenty of time for her to be up to speed. But that's really great news for this office and for everything that we can have moving forward. So thank you for that comment. And I'm around if anyone has any additional questions.
Any questions for Andrew? Hearing none. Thank you, Andrew, for that. And good luck to our new staff member. I'm sure she'll do well and looking forward to having a fully staffed office. Any other questions or comments for the clerk? Okay, sounds good. Heather Murray, you've got a number of things going on. 6A, changes to temporary personnel policies regarding COVID-19. Would you like to address that?
Sure. I was just looking for that part of the agenda. Essentially, with the reduction in the positivity rate throughout Dunn County, we took the time to review those temporary modified policies and procedures. Originally, they were extended through December with the caveat that if we saw changes that we would review those policies. So we are recommending a few changes from the notification, backing up definitions. We had not included the Behavioral Health Division in the Human Services Department originally. However, individuals working in that division are providing forms of medical treatment, including medications and injections, and therefore would fall under those recommended guidance from the CDC as considered healthcare providers. So we added that in. The notification requirements, it had indicated that if anyone had tested for any reason that they needed to notify us, but there are a lot of travel reasons and reasons that we wouldn't necessarily need to be notified if they're just precautionary. So if they are tested for COVID-19 due to symptoms or exposure, then we would ask that they notify Human Resources. But if they're having surgery, going on a cruise or abroad and they need to be tested, we certainly don't need that information. Additionally, the temporary vacation, we had indicated that individuals who were unable to take vacation time due to any reason associated with COVID-19 and they were at that maximum. So they were essentially losing their accrual for the pay period, could receive approval from their department heads to receive payout. At this point, with the low numbers, we are actually encouraging taking the vacation time now. We do believe that in fairness, we should provide some notice. So we're recommending that effective May 20th of 2022, that we discontinue the ability to receive those payouts and we just go back to the standard vacation policy. There is a piece in there about floating holidays. The committee allowed some carryover and the ability to utilize through the end of the year. So that will remain in for E911 communication center employees. Also removing the child care provider or school closure component. Schools are eliminating the requirement for masking. Daycares still have that. However, there is a vaccine available. I believe it's age 5 and up now. And it sounds like, if I remember correctly from the news, we're possibly going to be seeing one for younger than that yet in the near future. So, and in addition to that, the number of days required to quarantine has been reduced. So we are recommending eliminating that provision at this time. Also, the leave donation was modified to allow part-time employees or anyone who maybe ran out of leave but was off due to COVID-19 reasons. We are recommending eliminating that section and just going back to the standard leave donation policy. Additionally, from a COVID-19 vaccine standpoint, there are certain positions that are required by a regulatory agency to be vaccinated in order to carry out their job duties. And so we made sure to clarify that language within those temporary policies. And then finally, the return to work within county facilities. We had identified early on in the process what our goals were with the positivity rates. And ultimately this last time, really we varied away from that. And so removing that makes some sense at this point in time. And we have moved towards that remote working in the versus working in the workplace, and put a policy in place for that. So that I don't believe that that language is necessary anymore if the committee agrees. So we also realized that in the update that was provided to the committee previously, there was vacant shift pay for the neighbors that was approved in October of 2021 that somehow did not make it into that update. So you will see that added in. Just note that that was previously approved, but was an oversight from the human resources staff in getting that into that policy document. So you should have a copy of what we're recommending redlined, and then I believe I included a clean copy. So I am requesting that the committee review the proposed changes, formally endorse them, and approve these modifications effective March 27th of 2022, aside from the one that would be effective then May 20th of 2022. And I wrote that into the policy document.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. All right, Tim,
Right.
go ahead, Tim, you know.
Heather.
Yes.
Heather had a question in regards to, hold it down.
The other one down. The other one.
Other one, okay, how's this?
You're good. You can let her.
All right, I have a question in regards to, in the event that we're seeing these cases and numbers coming back, is there like a line that would have to happen before we bring these policies back?
We have never identified that line. We certainly could. From my standpoint, when I would bring that back, at least for some discussion, would normally be at probably that moderate level. So we're at a low level. Moderate to high is usually when I've been bringing in recommendations to make some of those changes. And again, at least for discussion at this level. But if there is a different threshold that the committee would like us to use, we can certainly note that. And if you prefer, we could add that into the policy as well.
It'll be interesting to see what happens post spring break.
For the trip.
Yeah, this is not about COVID, but about a report. Heather, can you talk a little bit about the utilization charts that you included in your report? I'm assuming that's utilization of what's the new service that we implemented just recently?
Yes, that is the near site clinic with Reform Medicine.
Okay,
Yes, so that is exactly what those utilization reports are for. And it runs through February 28th. In a really brief summary, it's showing really great utilization of the service. We are pleased with the numbers that we're seeing at this point in time. You'll notice Menominee and Eau Claire are our highest utilized locations. We had anticipated that. We recall we incentivized individuals to go in and meet with a provider to get started. And so we are seeing secondary appointments coming out of those initial appointments, which is also encouraging. So we're happy with the results. We're receiving really positive feedback as well. People come back and they talk about the ease of getting into the appointment, the ease of talking to the provider, finding out things from the provider that they hadn't found out from their current provider, and some changes, maybe some vitamins or medications that have really helped individuals. So up to this point, and I know we're only 3 months in, but it's been positive.
and that was one of the questions I was going to ask, whether you were happy with the
Mhm.
numbers. The second specific question is on the second chart. The numbers don't add up to 110. I'm not sure, are those totals? So did we have 32 people total in Menominee sign up in January, 42 in February? Is that right?
Yes.
And the established care patients.
Well, let's see, so 38, 32, and 4, so 60.
Well, that's,
I would probably ignore that middle box. I
Okay.
should have done math before I put this in here. Math is hard for me.
okay, and what number of people are we talking about total who are eligible?
So that would be total belly buttons on the plan, I believe is right around 500. So a portion of that, I would say about 250 to 300 would be part of the incentive program because it would be employee and spouse that we really wanted to have established care, but children are able to utilize this service as well. So for example, a sports physical, that would be free of charge for anyone who needed a sports physical.
So if we look at the second graph, do we have any way to know if those are all discrete individuals or some of them repeats?
This is establishing care only in the second graph. So that would be the initial going in and establishing care. Yep.
Oh, okay. So the numbers then we're looking at 80, 118, 161, about 165, 70. And how long does the initial period run? I know there were incentives. Now, actually, if they don't take the incentive, they could still initiate care there at any time, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions? One of the things that were included in our packet were a number of wage adjustments that were made. And of course, we're just getting a report on those. Were there any questions that anybody had on that part of the report? Whether you would like to ask Nick or whoever that, or does everybody feel comfortable with those? Okay, good.
I'm good.
Good, we're gonna move on. Our next item on the agenda is 6B, audit of our vouchers that
Can I hop in? Sorry, I might have missed something. Did we take action on the COVID-19? And then I think there were a couple other policies too that were on there. Did I miss?
You would like a formal motion then to adopt the new policy at this point?
The
Takes place
COVID?
27, that part of it? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right, thank you. Moved by our chair,
I'll second.
seconded by Supervisor Leno. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor of changing to the temporary personnel policies as presented by HR for reasons of the COVID-19, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Sorry, thank you. Now we can
Thank
move
you.
on to audit of the vouchers. Sorry about that. I'm looking at all the things you got listed on here. All right, anybody have any questions? Again, the vouchers are all supplied to you, a copy of all of them.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I have a couple.
All right, go ahead.
All right,
Okay.
on, this would be bottom of page 2. Under, let me see, this is going to be under 1150. It says illegal and uncollectible for town of Dunn 155507. And I'm just kind of curious about that. Because of the fact if it's, you know, an uncollectible bill for the township, why is it a voucher we have to pay? Just out of curiosity.
Sure, this is Sophia. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Sylvia.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So in 2020, so these are taxes that are related to 2020. There were 2 municipalities, one of which was Dunn, the other was Otter Creek. So they had 2 taxpayers that thought that they were, their assessment was too high. So they did all of the steps that they need to do, ended up going to the state of Wisconsin saying, we think that we were assessed too high, and the state of Wisconsin agrees. So it was a 2020 taxes. The treasurer's office receives a letter in November of 2021, and then the adjustment needs to be done in 2022. So there were 2 properties in those municipalities that were overassessed, and the state agreed. And that's why those adjustments were made. So we have to pay, so what happens is we pay the municipality back those funds, because we had taken the original charges, we returned those funds that were overcharged to the municipality. And then in the upcoming November, when we do chargebacks in November for next year's budget for the apportionment, we will add that back in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I've always felt it was kind of an unfortunate denomination to call it illegal because it has this connotation to it, but it just means that it was something that shouldn't have happened or that had to be undone. A lot of times it's for a parcel that gets 2 tax bills
Okay,
on accident
all right.
or a parcel that doesn't exist.
Interesting. It just caught my eye and I just thought, why are we giving them money in this?
Yep.
The second question I have here is on the next page under 1220. It's just for a small amount, but there's 3 of them there. It's called witness fees. I'm just kind of wondering if somebody could maybe elaborate on that. Only for, $18, $17, $20. But I thought, witness fee?
Would that be mileage?
They do have to pay certain witnesses to come in, like a doctor or something like that.
Okay,
But it seems pretty small, so
Pretty small,
maybe
yeah.
I don't know if it's connected to that, but some kinds of cases that are handled by the county, not the district attorney.
okay,
We just issue a subpoena. We have a subpoena served on them. And then instead of ordinarily, you would have to write a check out for a witness fee and mileage and give it to the witness at the time that you serve them with the subpoena. But for some kinds of cases where the government is the plaintiff or prosecutor or whatever, they turn their subpoena in at the clerk of courts, and then the clerk of court issues a check to them for
mileage or time or,
yeah.
okay,
And like a lot of times, it's just somebody that lives in town, so their mileage is 4 miles to the judicial center and back. And it could be that. I mean, I can find out. I could find out what it is and get back to you at the next meeting.
all right, that'll be fine. I just kind of thought the whole idea of witness fee, just, it didn't seem to jive. That's
There are some where you don't pay in advance, and then the witness turns the subpoena in at the clerk of court office, and then it gets processed and a check goes out.
Okay, all
I
right,
I think it worked well that that you just send out an email. to
Okay.
us, when
Yeah.
you find out.
All right, I can.
I think
do
that works well
That's
instead
very
of
nice.
waiting until the next meeting.
that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Anyone else? David?
I've got a couple. One's for Sarah. It's on, I think it's page 1, but I might have got them mixed up. But it's for contractual, and it's for independent living center, and it's $4,900. And
Sure.
I'm just wondering if you could let me know what that's for.
Sure. So that is a contract with our reentry grant. So that's the December invoice for their services, the certified peer support for reentry. That was a carryover, and because it wasn't approved by the board, we can't use those funds in SAP. So I had to use levy funds. So now that it is approved, it just got approved last week. I can ask finance to do some journal entries to get it into the right account, but that is a December invoice for Center for Independent Living.
Is that just 1 month then?
That is 1 month. Yes,
Oh,
that's
okay.
the last month of that service. Yep.
All right, thank you. I had one other question. Environmental services, grounds and improvement. There's Cole Johnson. And that might be a business, you know, maybe it's a business and we're contracting with them. It's two lines are exact same figure. So I guess that's kind of what I'm questioning. Just wondering if it got put in there twice. I realize probably nobody can answer that here, but just,
I think that's the total line for that.
oh,
uh,
okay, is
general
that what that
ledger
is?
account. Yeah. The highlighted lines are the total for that subset of.
That really isn't highlighted.
Mine is in
Mine is.
color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
black and white.
Oh, the bottom line for each of the,
It's
Okay,
real
so it's,
small.
Groupings.
they're just ones.
Yeah.
All right. I like to print these out and go over them instead on the computer and then for the vouchers. So that's why. I didn't use a colored printer. But I guess my question would still be what that is also, so it is just there once, but also is Cole Johnson a business that we contract with or environmental services? It could be something, I don't know. I'm just asking.
Name doesn't ring a bell for me.
Yeah, grounds improvement.
that one I can find out too.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Hearing none, motion to approve the vouchers and knowing that we'll be getting answers back for the committee.
So moved.
Okay, so moved by and seconded by Chairman Bartlett. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And I forgot to Sheila Story, welcome. And
Sheila?
so everyone is here either via Zoom or at the meeting in person today. Thank you.
And I think,
Mr. Chairman, if I might, I had a home care nurse show up, which is why I'm late and why you're seeing me walking around with my tablet. So I found out I was almost out of juice, so bear with me here, but I am here.
I think you were muted during the vote also.
Oh,
Supervisor
I vote
Story.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Item C under number 6 is a repeal of a 1985 affirmative action plan. And that information was included a number of pages of what that involved. Along with that were the reasons why we can repeal that. And that was a fact that based on the number of employees, also based on the fact that we are a government entity and are not in any violation status, we can move forward and get rid of that. The only question I had about that report was, is it true that only 1/3 of the population in this county are women and 2/3 are men?
That might have been the case in 1985.
Yeah. I was. Yeah, okay. That was a head shaker for me. I really didn't have any idea. All right. Anyone care to make a motion, or do we want any further explanation? David?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Chairman Bartlett moves. Supervisor Tripp seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, Sheila. Hearing none, passes. We will get that off the records. Number 7 is consideration of reports, resolutions, and ordinances to the county board from this Committee on Administration. So again, these are resolutions that we plan to pass on to the board for a board approval. The first, under 7A, is a resolution amending the employee handbook and its information about employee equipment and reimbursements. Anyone have any questions on that, or would you like anyone to address that? Chairman Bartlett.
The stuff in here about the sheriff deputies, is that all in the contract with them? So we're just following their contract language?
That is correct.
Okay. It's tough to buy a $30 watch today. That's why I was asking.
Supervisor Tripp.
Can I read anything into the fact that the original language had mechanics and welders and the new language has welders and mechanics?
We just wanted to make sure that you would catch that. That was my monthly test. Very good. Supervisor Tripp, you passed.
Do I get my candy bar then, or?
Sure.
Okay. thank you.
I'll put that in the mail.
Jenna has a reason. Go ahead.
Oh,
Am I on? Okay.
Yeah.
So currently the classification truly is mechanic / welders. So that is one position title. It's not two separate. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought maybe it was just a mechanic's turn to be first.
Any further questions? If not, entertain a motion that because this is considered a reimbursement or monetary item, we need to pass this to the board for full approval by the board. Anyone? So move. Thank you, Sheila. Second. Second by Supervisor Tripp. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes. Thank you very much. The second item is a resolution proclaiming Workers' Memorial Day. And this is resolution again is printed in your packet. Anyone care to address that? I think it's something we probably have done. I know we've done it over the last few years. I couldn't tell you how many. Anyone care to make that motion?
I'll move.
Okay, Supervisor Tripp moves. Let's see here.
Second.
Second by John Calabrese. And I'm looking here, is there a date there? I lost that page.
April 28th.
April 28th.
I have a question. Didn't we used to have a plaque in the old government building with the names of the county employees? Whatever became of that? It's a little bit off the subject here, but I know we talked about it one year when we
That
passed.
stuff was supposed to be transferred over. I
I think it's in the hallway by the front entrance of the main entrance of the
Guess I'd
building.
have to.
Yeah. Well, it's
I will
not
after
something
our
that,
meeting.
not something that we think about, but
No.
in speaking to the motion, I can remember a few years ago, we had a fairly long discussion about the importance and the significance of this. We've got employees who literally have given their lives on the job. And I think it's important that once in a while we stop and remember that and think of that and express some appreciation. So I'm real happy that we're passing this resolution.
I am too. Any other comments to the resolution? Okay. Again, I forgot about that plaque, and I remember that plaque in the discussion we had, make sure where it got placed, and forgot where. Sorry. Thank you all. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Passes. Announcements. Are there any announcements for the group here? Anyone online or any staff members have anything special to announce?
Yes. You ready for me, Nick?
Yes.
No.
No. Did Dave say no?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the part of the meeting I've been not looking forward to.
Oh, no.
So I did tender my resignation. But I wanted to be able to tell the committee myself, and I had hoped to be there, but I am on vacation with my family. But again, it was important that I be on the meeting to tell you. What I stressed when I talked to Nick and Dave was this has absolutely nothing to do with the job, and it was one of the most difficult decisions I've had to make. I absolutely love working at Dunn County. I intentionally didn't say for because it is definitely working at Dunn County. This is an opportunity that I actually have pursued and then walked away from over the course of about 8 years. And so I'm going to be going into consulting. And from my family, I'll be able to work from home, be there when my kids leave for school and get home from school, kind of set my own hours. COVID set this up for me. So it's one positive myself for COVID in that consulting has become a lot more virtual. And the travel component is what's held me back for the number of years. So it's scary because I know I love what I'm doing. That said, the other piece of it is I gave about a 5-week notice, and then we'll work out maintaining an additional 2 weeks beyond that, working part-time for Dunn County. And then I'm just always available. It's important to me to let you know that I'm still here, whether I'm here every day or not. I'm available via phone, via email, at any time. So there are a lot of things that we have in the works, and I fully intend to, even if it's in the background, be there to see those through.
So you're not leaving town?
I am not leaving town. I am moving from working in an office in Menominee to working from my basement. So
If you're looking for an acceptance, my vote is no.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
shouldn't ask.
But because it's going to be difficult to replace you, a very valued member of our staff. And
thank you.
again, like I say, if you'd have called me, I'd have certainly talked you out of it. But thank you for your notice and all the things that you've done on behalf of this committee, and I'm sure all the staff here at the county, much appreciated. Getting us on track, and with your staff that you had join you, I think we've done a good job in human resources. So you'll be missed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will miss it.
Anyone else?
I want to just remind all of you, not that you necessarily need it, there's a county board meeting on Saturday at 9 o'clock. The donuts are ordered. I still haven't figured out how to make the coffee yet, but I'll have that figured out by Saturday. There's a revised agenda that went out by email about 2 or 3 minutes after this meeting started, I think. And so check your emails. There should be a link to the meeting materials, and the revised agenda will be up on the website next to it. I think that's all I have. Oh, there's just for your information, I've scheduled a new supervisor orientation for April 12th, which is 1 week after election day and 1 week before the county board meeting. So if any of you feel like you want a refresher on some of the things, you're welcome to come, but I just want to let you know that it'll be held. I think I have it scheduled to start at 3, so that if we have staff who need to, clock out after their 8 hours, we can get them in up front. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else.
Is WCA offering anything?
They always have in the past. And I looked to see, I haven't reached out to them yet to see if they have anything. They did do some virtual sessions I think they did 2 in December and 2 in January. And so one of the things I'm going to do is try to see if I can get links to those. And so they'd be available for viewing. They were talking about board rules, the organizational meeting, and some other aspects of, they were really oriented kind of county board 101 type of things. And they were 4 1-hour sessions, or maybe a little less than an hour. They were pretty good. I attended all of them. They were done virtually, so I believe they were probably recorded. And I'll send links out to everybody for those too.
The one I went to pre-COVID was in May and was very helpful. Definitely talked a lot about Robert's Rules of Order and all of that. So it's definitely worthwhile.
Sarah?
There was a WCA meeting on Monday, sort of an informational meeting every Monday, and they mentioned there will be one in Eau Claire. I think it's in April. I didn't write down the date on my calendar. And then there'll be virtual sessions as well. So it's kind of 4-hour in person or 4 individual hours for the virtual option, but multiple ways to take that information in. And they anticipated a lot of new board members across the state.
Yeah, I gotta say, I know I attended one in Eau Claire when I was first elected. Andrew.
Sorry, just to jump on Sarah. The Eau Claire workshop is on May 11th for new supervisors.
Okay. Appreciate that. Okay.
And always remember, no matter what you hear in those workshops, always listen to your corporation counsel.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Our tentative next meeting date will be April 28th, 2022 at 3 o'clock, and hopefully again here in room 54. Anything else?
I put tentative there because we'll be getting a new board and new committee assignments, and so
May change.
it could be changed. But
I have one, just to comment more than anything else, but I heard in the news today, which I felt was quite troubling, that an anonymous individual had
Tim.
An anonymous individual had made a threat against the Eau Claire School Board and against their family also. And I would just kind of wanted to, maybe throw it out to the committee that, are there protections, are there rules or regulations, laws on the books for threatening people on boards, ourselves included?
There are.
There are, okay.
But I'm not familiar with them. I can look into that too if you'd like, but.
Well, I just kind of made me pause. And I just thought, being a public servant, it's just one of those things. It's just like, oh no, now what? That kind of thing. So it's really scary, I thought. That's all I got.
Thank you, Tim. All right. Without anything else, we're going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the staff. Thank you for those who joined us online. Again, thank you to Heather, and hopefully we can work out a smooth transition. I know that you'll be very helpful, and good luck and safe driving for all. Good night.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Happy spring.